Facing us this general election in November, in addition to our election for governor, we will see a number of initiatives and proposals on the ballot. Amendments 60, 61, and Proposition 101 are particularly problematic from the NCLA's perspective, and I know Progressive 15, we have positions to oppose those issues. Do you support or oppose Amendments 60, 61, and Proposition 101, and why? Mr. Tancredo, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I certainly understand and am conceptually supportive of exactly what these people are trying to do, and that is to reduce the size of government in Colorado. I know the way it is portrayed by the opponents as being blood in the streets will flow, the end of civilization as we know it. I've heard those things, of course, many times in debates on tax limitation amendments. I must tell you that 2 days ago I received from the Legislative Council an updated review of these three proposals. I've not completed it, it's 15 pages long, and I have not read it all yet, but I do want to do that because, in fact, there are certain aspects that I am concerned about also. I don't know if I will support them, but I can certainly tell you that I understand the motivation behind it. And by the way, it seems to me that if whichever one of us is elected governor in the state of Colorado, we're going to probably have to govern as if those were there. Because right now, we do not have a silver bullet that will get us out of this recession the next day. Things will probably get worse before they get better. We're all going to have to figure out the best way to deal with this within the constraints, and I'm certainly glad to hear we're not talking about, anybody on the stage is not talking about raising taxes, because the problem in Colorado, from my point of view, is not that we are undertaxed. It is that we are overgoverned. And we will be challenged, undeniably challenged, to deal with this issue of matching revenue to demands. But hey, that's why we get the big bucks, right?
Well, that's interesting, though. So you're moderating your position in terms of last week you were for all three. Now you're rethinking that, which is good. I don't think quite good enough. I mean, when you sit down and look at what any one of these three would do, not just to the state budget, but to the local budgets, a huge portion of that money flows through. We did a rough, just as an example, we looked at Yuma, and we think the town of Yuma would have to reduce their budget by 7 to 10%. But when you actually look at how lean that budget is already, I'm going to guess there's some pretty difficult decisions to be made there. When you look at, the estimate is now that of all the school districts in the state, roughly a third, is the number I was told, are going to be going to 4-day school weeks this year because of cuts they've already made. So to say that you're going to go and pull another, if all three pass, $2.1 billion out of those budgets, it's hard to imagine how those cuts are not going to have very, very significant consequences. And I know how hard it is to make government smaller, right? We have reduced the number of employees in the city of Denver over the last 7 years. This is before the Great Recession, by 7%. But we didn't do it with a meat cleaver, right? We did it through management, getting a great management team together, creating budgets and spending a great deal of time looking at what are the outcomes that are most important to our citizens and our voters. How can we deliver the services that they think are most critical, right? It's hard. You can't, at a certain point, when you do something like this that is so draconian, you end up with consequences that in many cases you can't even imagine. And our sense has been from the very beginning, we've heard these, that I'm all for making smaller government. I would love to keep working to try and find more ways of doing more with less. But any one of these three would be a disaster, to the budgets and also to the brand of the state, how the rest of the country looks at us. No one's going to want to do business here who pass things like this.
Well, it does appear that our minor party candidate is doing a little switching of minds here. He
understand that most of the things in these three issues come about in a phased-in process. It's not all happening next year. It will, in fact, cause a lot of heartburn, I'm sure, but it may not be the worst thing that could happen to governments throughout the state to have to deal with this issue, with the issue of true tax cuts in a way that they've never had to do it before.
And then the chimney industry